There are two categories of recruiters that get started on the lockout report. One are those that are doing well enough, that are successful, but know that there's more that they can achieve and they want to tap into more of their potential and perform even better. Then there are those who are struggling, who maybe are even failing as recruiters and need to turn things around, or they might have to give up on the profession overall and go out and get a real job or what have you. Those are the people that I want to speak to right now. If you're in a position where you are struggling and potentially even failing as a recruiter, then I want to make use of an analogy. Let's not talk about recruiting for a second, but let's talk about somebody who's struggling seriously with their health. Maybe they've just gone to the doctor and they've been diagnosed with something like cardiovascular disease. What would you recommend to that person who needs to make a significant change in their life? You wouldn't tell them to sign up to run a marathon. You'd tell them make some small but impactful changes so that they could see immediate improvement in their health and well-being. The same thing goes for when you just get started on the lockout report. We want to make some small but impactful changes so that you can see immediate improvement. Here are the 4 new dynamics we want to build into your practice to get you started. The first is visibility. It's awareness of what you are and are not doing. The person suffering from cardiovascular disease needs to take a good hard look at what they're eating, what kind of activities they're engaged in on a daily basis. Are they getting any exercise, or do they live a really sedentary lifestyle? You have to be able to see that to become aware of it and then be able to make decisions about it. The next piece is honesty. You can look at those things, but then you need to make an honest assessment where you can say, okay, maybe I'm eating too much or eating too often, or I'm having too many snacks, or I'm not getting enough exercise, or any of the number of things that could be contributing to cardiovascular disease, which relates back to, what are you doing in your recruiting practice? What aren't you doing in your recruiting practice? What are the small changes that you can make to start moving forward honestly? It's at that point things can sometimes go off track, because as soon as I start looking at my lifestyle or my activities and I make judgments about them, it can go very negative. I can say, oh, I'm eating too much, I'm not getting enough exercise, what a schmuck am I? Or in recruiting, I'm not spending enough time on the phone, I'm not making enough presentations, what a schmuck am I? No, what we then need, after we've got the visibility and the honesty, is some positivity. Let's look at what you're doing well and encourage that. Let's look at some of these other things that we can make some small changes to, those things that maybe aren't so good. Let's reduce those a little bit, all with a positive motivation in mind to getting you to a better state of health. And the 4th element is small victories, some sort of success that we can grab onto to keep us moving forward. So let's say over the past few years, you've rarely, if ever, gone out on an afternoon walk or taken a jog in the morning, but today you did. That's important. That's something to celebrate. That is a small victory. Let's come back to recruiting. You can't, on a given day, say, oh, okay, I'm going to go out and make a placement today. That's not how it works. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of investment, there's a lot of conversations, there's just a lot of work involved, and it may take weeks, it may take even a couple months to close that first placement. So you can't use that as the success or the victory you're looking to propel yourself forward. You have to start smaller than that. So if today you took that walk, you took that jog, or you got on the phone and you made 2, 3, 4 phone calls, and those 2, 3, 4 phone calls are more than what you made yesterday, then great. Those are the small victories that we need, and we can have those if we've got the visibility, we've got the honesty, we've got the positive motivation, and we're looking for the things that we can do right now that are steps in the right direction. That is how ultimately we can turn around your recruiting practice, much in the same way that you can just start making steps towards a better overall life and fitness and well-being.